And then, okay, so we are now recording. Welcome everyone to the May general membership meeting. We have now met quorum. We have 5 participants in person. We have Melissa Melendez, Zareta Serrano, and Anna, what's her last name? Anna Oppenheimer, and then Mary Louise Foss and myself are here. So with everyone else that's on the call, I think we've met quorum. If you've not put your name and your child's name and email address in the chat, please do so now for attendance. And here is our notice of recording. And then the May agenda. So we're hoping that this will be a pretty quick meeting. We have the welcome, the president's report, the SLT report, the treasurer's report, new business, which will include, oh, this is not the right, that did not get updated. So it is Family Fun Day, PSA elections, and then we'll be talking about the SLT speakers that they've, or sorry, the Title I speakers. Followed by the principal's report and the adjournment. The meeting minutes for April were emailed earlier today from Ms. Rivera. Does anyone on the call, before we get too far, does anyone on the call need translation? Anybody? Going once? Going twice? Okay.
Hold on, let me just ask in Spanish. So, ¿alguien en la llamada en la reunión hoy necesita que le traduzca? Alrighty. Is that a yes?
I didn't hear, I didn't hear you. What'd you say?
I'm just asking because I hear voice, I just hear on the other side. I was just wondering if anybody...
There's a lot of background noise because there are children in the audience.
Got it. Perfect.
But so if no one else needs, if no one needs Spanish translation, we will move on to so the meeting minutes were sent out earlier today by Ms. Rivera. Normally the video recordings of the PSA meetings can be found on our YouTube channel. Unfortunately, the recording from the April meeting didn't record properly, and so there's no recording. You just have to read all that happened. Then, as always, if you have any questions for the administration that pertains to a specific instance with your child, please email them directly. Their email addresses are listed below. If you have questions for them in person, sort of pertaining to a general issue, you can put that in the chat, or if you have questions for us, the PSA, please put those in the chat and we will get to them as time permits. And then Patrina, do you want to do your thing and welcome everybody?
Hi, everyone. Welcome to our May meeting. It's been, I guess, a quick month from April till now. I just want to give a quick update. We did have our safety meeting, and a key takeaway from the safety meeting was to please remember to sign in when you enter the building, and do understand that if you're waiting, you are more than welcome to wait in the PSA room, just trying to decrease the congestion that tends to build up at the front of the building. So yeah, and another thing that there were, just in terms of signing in, the reason for that is, you know, as we go into doing more of the drills, they need to be accountable for the people that are in the building. So when we do sign in, please sign out as well. And I do believe that they are requesting that you sign in at the front desk and also sign in the main office as well. That can be clarified during the principal's report. Additionally, we did have this past Monday, we did have our teacher appreciation breakfast, and the teachers and the staff truly appreciated it. Andreina, can you say the name of the place where we ordered the breakfast from?
We ordered the breakfast from Sazon Perez.
Sazon Perez, there we go. And it was delicious. And you see, we have the pictures in the slideshow. Let's see what else. We also had our family game night. As you see in these pictures. This is just pictures, a few pictures from that night. And thank you all for coming out, was able to come. What else? Oh, and thank you to our parent volunteers. I apologize. Without you, it is not possible. You fill in all those gaps and help keep things moving smoothly. And thank you too to my team for all that you have done up until this point and continue to do. What else did we also had this month? We had our cap and gowns. Oh, wait, hold on 1 second. Let's move this. Are we talking about stomping ground? The proofs were sent home. So following up from Picture Day, our Picture Day proofs were sent home on the, what was it, the 25th of April. And please also don't forget to log on and put in your orders. I'm also, I think to the first order day, the first order deadline is May 18th. And the second one would be June 20th. And I think that takes into account for the pictures and the picture retakes also for that time.
I
Let's,
can talk about retakes. I think that's the next slide.
okay.
Yeah. Oh, this is just a visual of what the page looks like. It's actually a little longer than this, but we have our designated pictures again, and then this is for kindergarten and 5th grade only. So I'll go really quickly because I know that our attendance is a little lower today. When you go on the page and you hit the link to view and purchase, Casey, on my side, the image looks a little bit blurry, but I'll walk through this anyway. View and purchase, and it'll take you to a second page that requires your unique code. And that was also included in the proofs that were sent out. We'll be arranging sometimes and reaching out to parents who indicated that they needed support with placing their orders to ensure that we're able to do that. Okay. Okay, yeah, the next slide is in Spanish, which I will voice over. Stacy, I see your hand is up. Is it related to Picture Day?
Yeah.
Okay.
I got something in my kid's backpack, and I think it's related to what you're talking to, but that's what my question is. It had a picture, it had her picture on it, but it was not the most recent school picture. It was the one before that. Is that what that was about?
Oh, I know what that is. That's not from Stomping Ground, Stacy. Did you get the ID card? It has her name on it.
Yeah.
So those were Cecil and our continuous journey with multiple picture companies. What you are receiving is something that was not delivered as part of the original package that was promised to us. It actually came out later after the school year had ended. And so we had to sort it out. So that's coming from Tri-State. I believe that was from, I want to say last school year.
Yeah, right. Okay, so
Yeah.
it's just for me to keep. It's not for me to
Yeah, it
sign
was
up
just
for
something
Picture
that
Day.
would have, yeah, it would have come with the original package, but they weren't like, you know, one of the problems we had with them, but yeah, it was
Okay.
just like an add-on that was not available at the time. And we just want to make sure that, you know, you guys got what you paid for. So we're just sending things home, and there may be some additional pictures coming back from the year before with Life Touch as well. We're just sorting through.
Okay, okay,
you-
that's fine. I
yeah.
just didn't quite understand what it was. Okay.
Yeah,
perfect.
it's from Tri-State, so that would have been the school year before.
Right, right. Okay, thanks.
Okay, so sorry about the confusion. We're just really just trying to, get everything that has been kind of like looming. We're just trying to, get everything out so it's not carried over to next school year for the next board to deal with.
Okay.
Are there any other questions, or Andrina, you can continue?
Yeah. I think we're
We
ready
have
for,
a quick question in person, Melissa?
yep.
On, so the first quarter and the second quarter. So if you order, like the picture that they took now, if you order from that, can you still do a retake and order from those pictures also?
Okay, so Andreina, the question is, I don't know if you heard it, but if you ordered from the first picture taken from the website and then you do a retake, can you also order from those pictures as well? Like, can you
Yeah,
do the
so,
retake if you've already ordered?
I mean, if you can order as often as you would like, the gallery is available and open to you as long as you would like. If you opt to retake, those photos will be added to the online gallery. So you'll have the original ones that were taken already, as well as the retake photos, and it's up to you. If you want to order more, you can mix and match. So it's all there, the gallery. You can always order. The deadlines for these order deadlines are specific to the fundraising aspect of this for the PSA, that if whatever is ordered within these dates is where we would receive a percentage. Anything beyond that, you can order. It's always the photos are for you to see. We just don't receive anything from that.
I think that answers the question. Thank you.
Okay. So on that note, the retake day for Stomping Grounds photos, this is specific to kindergarten and 5th grade only. It's taking place on Thursday, May 18th. So many of the things that I said earlier, just mentioned now to answer that question. So if your child was absent, or you simply are not satisfied with the current photos that were taken, for the students that were absent, we have a list of those children and we will arrange for them to be photographed. If you would like a retake, there is a form that is going out. Please fill that out and return it to us so that we can ensure that your child is photographed again. So photos taken on the makeup day are going to be available 2 weeks from that date. You have all the same login information, the same unique code. They will be added to the gallery, and so the photos will be available with the original photos, and then you can purchase as you please. The forms should be going out, if not tomorrow, Monday, and we would ask for it to be a quick turnaround since Thursday is the retake day, and we need to make sure that we schedule everyone and ensure that we got every child that was absent photographed, as well as anyone who is requesting a retake. Do you have any questions? And again, this is for kindergarten and 5th grade. I know we have like multiple photo companies that we've worked with, but this is only for 5th grade and kindergarten.
Katrina, do you want to do the SLT report?
My apologies. Yes, I can do that right now. So this past Monday, we had our SLT meeting. During that meeting, I'm sorry, let me just, hold on one second. Yep. Okay, I'm sorry, can you hear me? Hello?
Yep, we can hear
Okay,
you.
sorry. So during that meeting, we covered what was it? Stacy spoke about the Title I Elevate workshops, as well as we talked about the Rosetta Stone. And also, in terms of the Rosetta Stone, we do have sign-up sheets in the vestibule of the school. When you come in, that we put the paper rack, the magazine rack is there, and we also have some sign-up forms for anyone who did not get the forms to sign up for the Rosetta Stone. And additionally, there are 2 Elevate workshops coming up. Stacy, I know you are here. You can speak a little more to that. But additionally, in the SLT, we also broke into our subcommittees. And so we're working now for next year's CEC plan. And I believe that was pretty much what was covered. And just in case anyone was not at the last PSA meeting, at the previous SLT, we did vote on the uniforms. I don't remember if we covered that, but we did say that going forward for the next school year, we would be having a uniform policy in place. And the colors, are pretty much the same. But that information will also come later too. But that was pretty much it for the SLT report. If there's any questions.
And Mary Louise is here for, if there are no questions, Mary Louise is here for the treasurer's report. You can-
Am I unmuted?
You're unmuted, but you need to start your video, which is.
Oh, what do I do? Oh, start video.
Yeah.
Well, I don't really care if this can be, but hi, everybody. So this month we got to spend some of our money that we had worked so hard to make. So our bank balance is a little bit lower than it was before. We are now at a total available balance of 9. You know what? That's not right. I didn't update that. Hang on. Let me do the math real quick. Sorry, I was doing this in a hurry before I came here. 8. I don't think I subtracted the, 1 second, guys. Sorry. 5 plus 96 minus. Yeah, I didn't subtract the graduation pictures, so. So our balance now is, let me update it. There we go. So as you can see from in our bank account, we have $8,255.51. Petty cash, we have $344.45. That is because we made about $200 from our concession sales on game night. So thanks to everybody who came to that. And then we still actually have our open collective money at $523.76. And we still have our graduation picture refunds money in the account because we have not been able to locate people that are owed the money, which gives us the $7,796.96 number. I did detail it out a little bit here. So we bought some things for our game night. We bought cornhole, which everyone seemed to have fun with, and we're going to be having at our end of year celebration. And we also were able to fulfill some of the teacher wish list items. We still have about $200 left over to spend on the teachers. We're just kind of getting clarification on some of the items that were asked for. And then we also bought, we've also paid for bounce houses for our end of year celebration. And you can see the rest, and some other miscellaneous things. As far as our earmarked funds that we had been fundraising for, we, as you know, we, Casey, you're trying to enter. Okay. As you know, when we fundraise, we have to fundraise for a reason, and so you have to pre-allocate the funds. So you can see in the column that says allocated, how much money we allocated, and then how much we actually have used. As far as teacher wish list, we do plan on spending that budget and maybe then some. And then for the end of year carnival, we are also looking for other things that we can bring that will be fun for the kids to do. So you can see we only have spent 1,000 of the 2,400 that we allocated. We did spend a little more at the teacher appreciation breakfast than we anticipated, but the board voted and we just decided to go ahead and do it because we actually didn't spend as much on some other things. So we had a little money left over. I think that's about it. Does anyone have any questions about the current budget? Questions, comments? No? All right. Keep it moving. New business.
Okay, I'm going to just try something here and just share the slideshow to make the, oh, sorry. Okay, it's a little more enjoyable for everyone, I think, to have this view.
We see it super zoomed in on our side.
Do you see it? How's
Yeah.
that?
That works.
Okay, so new business, PSA elections, they're happening, their next big thing, Wednesday, May 31st. It's going to be an in-person only meeting. This will hopefully give everybody the opportunity to sort of meet the potential candidates, hear from them directly, kind of put names with faces in a real life situation. It also will sort of expedite the proceedings because if you've ever been on the virtual elections, you know that there has to be this whole like anonymous code thing that happens, and it's very labor intensive. And if there's only one person running, it's a lot of time for nothing. So the descriptions of all of the duties and responsibilities were sent out on May 5th. If you need a copy of that, we can put a copy in the chat. The mandatory positions to be filled are president, recording secretary, treasurer. Non-mandatory positions are vice president and co-secretary. And when we say mandatory positions and non-mandatory positions, the chancellor's rules and regulations have a lot of rules about having like a functional PSA executive board. And if you don't have a functional PSA executive board, meaning you don't have those mandatory positions filled, you can't do a lot of stuff like spend the money or raise the money or like do all the stuff the PSA should be doing. So it's really important that at least those mandatory positions are filled. The non-mandatory positions are the gravy, like more hands make lighter work. Andreina has been the co-secretary and she's been an invaluable member of our team. So we really encourage, like, if you have an interest, please, please, please come to that meeting on the 31st and throw your name in the ring. If you are not interested in running, but you care about democracy and you want to see us to have a successful PSA going forward, please come and vote because we need to have like a, meet quorum for that meeting. And it is going to be 100% only in person, no Zoom. There will also be an open SLT position that will be electing that same night. And like I said, nominations will be taken at the meeting. So you come, you say you're interested, and then we, we're off to the races. Any questions?
And just to point out, you have to be in the room to be nominated. So if someone nominates you and you're not at the meeting, you can't make the ballot. So you got to show up.
Excellent point. Any other questions? Or comments? Okay. Moving on. This is the Elevate workshops that SLT has, or I'm sorry, the Title I PAC has put together. They use some of their discretionary parent engagement funds to arrange these meetings. Stacy, are you still on the call? Did you?
Yeah, I'm still here.
Yeah, take it away.
Yeah, not much. Oh, can you go back? Yeah, not much to say. Everything's here, but the descriptions of the different workshops are on the right in the blue section. So there are 2 that are in English on May 17th and June 8th, and there are 2 that are in Spanish on May 18th and June 7th. So it's a little confusing. So this isn't a direct translation. The flyers aren't, right? So the one on the left has the 2 dates that are only in English. And then the flyer on the right has the 2 dates that are only in Spanish. So it's not like the events are going to be translated. It's just that you get to pick to go to the one in the language that you prefer. And I think those flyers probably got backpacked today, I'm hoping, or maybe yesterday. And if not, then maybe tomorrow.
Any questions for Stacy? They sound like amazing workshops, and thank you for doing all the work to make them happen.
Yeah, big shout out to Nyasha on that one, but she's not here, but I want to make sure she gets a little credit because she worked hard on getting those organized.
Yes, thank you to Nyasha as well. Hopefully she'll see this on YouTube, our appreciation. Okay, so next up we have Family Fun Day. So this is going to be our year-end celebration. It'll be Saturday, June 3rd, rain or shine, from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. We have already made a reservation for 2 bouncy castles, a couple of like carnival style games, and then we're going to have various activities, some like giant bubbles and various like maybe some basketball. Some of the activities have to be fleshed out still, but we are excited about the event. We will also be giving away free snow cones and cotton candy. And then we have a whole stash of books that have been accumulating in the PSA office that we would love to distribute for summer reading. Everybody can use a good beach read. So please, if it seems like it'll be a super fun event, it's sort of a follow-up or like a 2.0 version of the Family Fun Day last year, which sounds like it was a great time. I wasn't able to attend, but I hear it was amazing. But in order to make it as fun as last year, we need, of course, volunteers. So these are kind of the positions that we're looking to fill. There will be a setup crew. There will be a different event stations that we will need people to work. We're hoping because it's a 3-hour event, they would be 3 one-hour shifts. And then if anyone can stick around to clean up, there will be a sign-up sheet in the door on the PSA office, or if you're interested, you can email the PSA at ps376.com. I see a question in the audience. Go ahead. Grayson, we would always love your help. Thank you. Oh, thank you. Any questions about Family Fun Day? So we will be, you don't need tickets to attend, but we will probably, just because while we would love to have an unlimited number of snow cones and cotton candy, we will probably be giving out tickets. And then once the tickets are gone, they're gone. So just because supplies are limited, but we're, pretty confident we'll have like a good number. So everybody should get. That's a good question. So the question was, is the event just for the school, or can other people from outside the school community attend? And that, I don't know that that's something we've really discussed. Katrina, Andreina, thoughts?
Well, it's family fun, so you bring your family. So it wouldn't necessarily only be the kids. It's like kids in the house as well have come that aren't in the school, like siblings.
So like household members is what you're saying?
Yeah.
Yes. Also last year, to get a sense of like who would participate for similar reasons, Casey and folks who are on, we did like an initial RSVP.
Yeah, so we get a
sense of like how many folks, like how many people are in your family, like your household, so we could also plan accordingly. Also, because we want everybody to have a good time, and to your point, like So we will want to get a sense of like who will be participating. But we did have many people join who had not RSVP'd and it worked out really great. So we just want everyone to have a good time. So we'll work on that as well. But we obviously not everyone is going to be able to just walk on. So we want households and also that at least one person is a student at the school.
I think that's an excellent point. So when we send out the notice, just sort of letting everybody know and like the initial publicity flyer, we will attach a Google form so that we can start counting heads and sort of get an estimation of how many people want to attend. Karen had a question. So part of it will be in the schoolyard, but like because we only have the one date to do it, we have made plans so that we can bring it inside. So that we filed a permit to use the gym, 119, the cafeteria, and the auditorium. So we'll have space inside if in case of inclement weather.
Yes, this is a rain, sleet, snow event.
Oh, hold on just a second.
There's no tickets to enter. There's gonna be other kids in the community that's, you know.
Okay, so Karen brought up a good point, and she said that because like we will be doing a portion of the event in the school, and if we don't do it as a ticketed event, what do we do if it's people outside the school community? So like no relation to the school at all, just have people off the street, more or less. Are they going to be turned away? And how do we handle the crowd control?
Well, what we did in the past was, I think it was understood, but people who were not part of the school community were not, like, we can't take in everybody. You know, it's not like a community wide event. But so if they were literally just people who didn't, you know, who were just walking by, you know, well, we're sorry, but, you know, can't come.
Does that answer your question? Okay. I think it's a good point, and I think as we're going to be having an additional planning meeting amongst the board to sort of solidify everything. So I think that is definitely something we'll take into consideration, especially once we start to get those initial RSVP numbers, and then we can kind of make plans accordingly.
If I can add on, one thing that we did do last year is for people who RSVP'd, we did ask folks, like for like the lines, it's like if you RSVP'd, you were on one line so that we could like reference the list that we had. We did have our list of like folks who RSVP'd, and then if you didn't, we were cross-checking just to make sure. And obviously it's very exciting. It was very fun. There was a lot of things going on. So naturally people do feel attracted to like the event and the activities. So at the gate, we did have like people there to make sure that we were checking.
And a sign-in sheet, yeah.
Yeah, so we had our sign in, and it becomes apparent very quickly that when it like, because it's like the typical sign in, so like your name, your child's name, their class, and so forth. So we kind of started to figure out, like you could very quickly tell, and fortunately everybody was like super honest in those instances, and they
Yeah, and
upfront,
understanding
they
too.
didn't have a child in the school. So.
The follow-up point was also that like if there is a bouncy house on the street and like in the schoolyard, that might be more of an enticement for like random people to just come in off the street. So that might be something we want to consider, the placement of that.
But we also have security. So, I mean, like, you know, it wasn't, thank God, a problem before. I think, you know, people who asked or inquired if, you know, they understood that it, you know, everything's not for everybody. So I don't think it will really be, or what, it hasn't been an issue in the past, I should say.
Katrina, was that a resource officer at the gate, or that was just sort of like volunteer security? Like a volunteer with a sign-in sheet?
We had, I'm so sorry. We have the resource officers that come in because remember with the permit, it comes with security.
Gotcha.
So
Okay,
she's also there as, you know, authority, so it's okay.
Mary Louise has a question.
Okay. But just repeat it because we can't hear.
The
What you
question
guys-
is there a limit to the number of people that can be in the school, when we're in the schoolyard?
Well, I know we have capacity limits for the different spaces in the building. I think as far as the schoolyard is concerned, I'm not sure, but we do have admin. Maybe we can ask admin. Is Ms. Perez on the call?
Ms. Perez Hernandez is here, and she said that there is not a capacity number that she's aware of for the schoolyard specifically, but she'll look into it.
Okay, thank you. And additionally to what we did, we also closed the door to kind of like stop that influx of in and out. So that way, because the kids are playing in the schoolyard as well. So we kind of want, keep the gate closed to kind of like minimize the flow. It's like, yeah, you come in and, you move around, but we try to keep the egress as, limited as possible too.
That all makes sense. Any more questions about Family Fun Day?
What suggestion I have is, maybe we. Say, who you with.
Yeah.
Go. Like.
Right.
It's like.
So, so Mary Louise, made the suggestion that perhaps we have the rockle at the gate, so you would have to name drop the name of a student that could be verified off the rockle, before your permitted entrance.
Yep, that's essentially part of like what occurred last year. I do appreciate all the
Yeah, they got the ticket.
security, because just in full transparency, last year that was the first annual, maybe. So this, there's a lot of learnings that can come from that. And last year we didn't have a bouncy. So I appreciate Karen's point about like the bouncy. That is an attraction for all children. So I foresee that like the moms or the dads walking by and maybe not being part of the community and wanting to come in or just simply ask. So that is something that we will certainly plan for now that we have that in front of mind. I'm thinking maybe wristbands or something like that could be helpful too, to just ensure, that we've cleared whoever is in the space. So I think a lot of this will cover in our like meeting. Please volunteer, hint, hint. So we can cover, we can cover off on all those spaces and designate people to just oversee these different areas.
Zareta, did you have a question? Okay. So yes, just to reiterate, volunteers are needed. We will be putting up a sign up sheet on the door of the PSA office. As probably Monday, it'll be up. And then there's been a little bit of trouble with our email, but we will be sending out a notice, the incoming messages specifically. But if you are interested, please email the PSA at ps376.com. And we will be sending out a notice about the event in general, along with the RSVP form early next week. So then we have, did you want to speak about Little Mozart or just? Okay, so just a reminder, we have the Little Mozart Enrichment Assembly that will be for the entire school. It'll be Tuesday, June 13th. There will be 2 different assemblies, one for K through 2nd and one for 3rd through 5th grade. Each assembly will be tailored to the group of children that will be in the audience. It sounds like a really fun opportunity, and we learned that, or I just learned, I guess Mary Louise knew this and she has been in contact with them, but they have a pet and instrument sort of session after the performance. So it's kind of a fun opportunity for the kids to get up close and personal with real live instruments that they might not necessarily see. Any questions about the Little Mozart? And if you'll recall, actually, I have a question about Little Mozart. We talked about the title or the 501c3 money. Is that going towards Little Mozart?
I mean,
It was supposed to be.
it was that, and it was gonna be an additional,
Right.
no, $1,500. But we didn't spend, like we've only spent 1,500, we spent 2,000, like we were planning. So, I mean, we could pull that money out of there, or we could just pay for it out of our.
So did you guys hear that on the call?
No.
No, whenever they talk in the thing, you gotta repeat it because we can't hear.
Okay, so Mary Louise was saying that initially when we made the when we passed the spending allocations for the enrichment assemblies, we had originally approved $2,000 and 500 of that was to be from the 501c3 account. However, we've only spent $1,500 just because the timing of the other excuse me, the other enrichments didn't work out. And so we can take the $1,500 out of our account and just pay for it straight up, or we can take that $500 out of the 501c3 account and then use the balance, like pay for the balance out of the regular account.
Given that our 501c3 money has been sitting there for a very long time, I don't want to risk us losing it, so I think it's best if we,
I
well,
agree.
it's not my decision, but I'm suggesting that we go with using our 501c3 funds and then just the 1,000 from our funds, and that leaves more available for.
Yeah, because that 500 from our funds is easily more readily available for upcoming needs. It's easier to free up than it would be for the other, I'm sorry, hold on. For the open collective account.
I know that I posed the question, but I think we should table this for like an executive board meeting, just so that we can sort of talk about the like the logistics of the 501c3 and like whatever sort of restrictions that account has, and like if depleting that balance would essentially close the account and what that means for us going forward. So if that's okay with everyone, we can pick up that conversation up in our executive board meeting and then report back at the June general membership meeting. Is that fine? Okay. So then we have Ms. Perez Hernandez is here in the house in person, and she is here for the principal's report.
Okay. Good evening, everyone. So first I want to begin by thanking PSA and all of our parents and students who have celebrated Teacher Appreciation and Staff Appreciation Week. Teachers and staff were very appreciative of the wonderful breakfast hosted by PSA to launch the week. We, of course, have had appreciation celebrations for them each day, and many have received cards and thank you cards from parents, families, and children. So we thank you for your efforts in showing our teachers and staff appreciation in their week. I also want to thank one of our parents, Ms. Sonia Castrejon, who yesterday led our parent sewing workshop in celebration of Mexican Mother's Day. She also put on a magnificent performance for us, singing native songs, popular songs from Mexico. And I honestly thought it was the radio that was on. Her voice was so spectacular. So once again, just our PS 376 parents showcasing their talents and sharing their wonderful talents with us all just made for such a wonderful celebration and a wonderful evening. So we're so grateful to her to have shared that with us. And I thank Ms. Yvette Rivera and Ms. Valley, who helped put the event together for our moms. We were able to raffle off a sewing machine and some other prizes. So it was a really great night. I do have some upcoming events that I'd like to share with you. There has been a change in our Bushwick Community Cleanup Day. Unfortunately, I'm sure we could all remember we had quite torrential downpours for the original date that was proposed. So it had to be rescheduled for next Sunday, May 21st. From 10 to 12 and is being hosted by class 5504 in collaboration with Ms. Salchley, our environmental studies teacher. So we will be working we will be meeting at the school, and from the school, we will be moving to what was identified as the dirtiest block in Bushwick to help clean it up and make it look better. So anyone, I'm sorry? It is one that I think borders on Himrod, if I'm not mistaken. So it's a Myrtle Avenue, and I want to say right before you get to Himrod. So it borders the community garden. So we will be working hard to clean it up. Ms. Salchley was also the recipient of a grant, an Eco Rise grant, and they donated pickers for all of our volunteers who will be helping to clean up our community that day. So we're looking forward to it. Our students really put in a lot of effort to organize this event. We're partnering with some community-based organization. So it's our students putting our authentic learning model to work right in our very own community. So we're looking forward to that day. Anyone that wants to join us is more than invited. We look forward to seeing as many volunteers as possible. This coming next week, we will be having our Mosel math assessment period. It will be a one-day assessment in mathematics. And this information is used kind of to measure how much the students have grown across the school year. And we utilize the information also to prepare for instruction next year, this year. It differs a little bit from the state assessments in that it is taken by kindergarten to 5th grade. There is a rubric, so it's more of a performance task. The teachers are able to see the test beforehand so that they can norm in their scoring of the exam. It is scored in-house, but by a non-classroom teacher or the student's non-classroom teacher. So if their classroom teacher was me, Ms. Haig would be scoring my students' assessments and I would be scoring Ms. Haig's assessments. It's also different from the New York State ELA in that we immediately, once the Mosels are scored, have access to the students' work because they have to show their work as they're responding to the questions. So that's why it allows us to prepare for any areas that we need to strengthen for next year, earlier in the year. So we're hoping that that's really going to help us propel forward and continue our student achievement in mathematics, as opposed to only having the New York State results when they come back over the summer to drive that instruction. So that will be taking place next week, along with the NYSA SLAT window. And the NYSA SLAT exam is the assessment that our English language learners take to measure their growth in reading, writing, speaking, and listening in English. So that window is also opening up next week. I do want to share some wonderful district events that are taking place. Our District 32 is hosting a weekly movie night happening every Friday. It started May 5th, but it runs through June 9th at the district office from 7 p.m. on. They are all family films. So all of our District 32 families are welcome to join. Our district office is now at 1160 Decatur Street. So they have a beautiful courtyard in the middle of their building, and that's where they're setting up the screen and the chairs so that everyone could view the movie. And it's in conjunction with another community-based organization called Tent. So those flyers Ms. Rivera will be sending out so that the community knows and you're free to attend. Our district, District 32, you may have heard in some of the press releases that have been released, is part of the first phase of the Chancellor's Reading Initiative. What that means is that our district is a district that has been one of the first to adopt a district-wide curriculum in both ELA and mathematics. So the math curriculum that was selected district-wide is actually the math curriculum that we adopted for this school year, illustrative math. So all schools in District 32, elementary and middle schools, will be using illustrative math. And the literacy curriculum that was selected is called Into Reading. It is not the current curriculum that we use, but it is now the curriculum that we will be using starting September. And our district has already been in communication with us about it for the past few weeks, is setting up professional learning to support school leaders as well as teachers. And they also want to share the information with our families. So they will be hosting District 32 family curriculum workshops, and the workshop will take place on May 22nd. So we will be sharing those flyers, and that will be held at the district office to provide more information. Into Reading is and has been for several years a core curriculum option, like the curriculum we have been using thus far in our school building. One of the biggest reasons why Into Reading is like the district selection is that there is an aligned curriculum called Arriba la Lectura that is the accompanying Spanish curriculum to the Into Reading. And because we have so many schools in our district that have dual language programs and bilingual programs, it does have deeper supports for schools that fit that characteristic, right? And pretty much all of our schools either have a bilingual program or a dual language program, Spanish. So you're more than welcome to attend the District 32 family curriculum to learn more about both of the curriculums, one of the curriculums, and of course, we will ensure that we add professional learning for parents in our parent annual calendar for next school year as well. As Ms. Patrina Lewis stated earlier, SLT did come to consensus on being a school uniform school for next year. So we will be making available next week flyers sharing with our parents and our families that we are a school uniform school, possible resources for accessing school uniform. In addition to our school, you're more than welcome to purchase from us, but there are also vendors in the community that you can purchase. It's not a departure from the school uniform that has already been in place for years. It's the white top and the navy bottoms. Also our polos with the school logo are acceptable. So any variation of that is acceptable as part of wearing your school uniform. I know there were some questions about like penalties. We wanted to make sure we got the information out early because, you know, I respect and understand how everyone starts preparing kind of for September, really in the spring, trying to get together all of like, you know, the materials that you're going to need for coming back to school. So we wanted to make sure that, you know, parents didn't have the undue burden of purchasing wardrobes for the upcoming school year and then, you know, being unsure as to whether the school uniform, you know, was going to be available or not. So we are a school uniform school. We'll be promoting it. However, we do not take a punitive approach to a child not wearing, you know, a uniform. We encourage everyone. We will be encouraging everyone to wear their school uniform, but there will not be like disciplinary action taken if a child does not wear the school uniform to school, where we understand a lot of mitigating factors, but we did want to offer it as another opportunity to support and help parents, because we know that sometimes it can be a help to many of our families. So that information will be forthcoming as well. And we will, you know, if you have if we have a new gym shirt and you wear a gym shirt from a previous year and the logo looks different, that's still considered school uniform. So, you know, it doesn't have to be the current year's version of the uniform. And I would also like to share that our STEAM Expo, I know you got clue number 1, clue number 2 is coming tomorrow. The reveal for the theme for this year will be on May 19th. So we'll be sharing that school-wide. So make sure you get your guesses into Ms. Rivera, because there are prizes for our winners. But the actual STEAM Expo event is going to be Thursday, June 1st, I believe 8:30, but in the email that Ms. Rivera sends out tomorrow with the clue, the official start time will be on it. And I believe it is 8:30, if I'm not mistaken. So it will be Thursday, June 1st. So you could put it on your calendars. It is an in-person event, fully in-person event. So we hope to see as many parents as possible. We're trying to encourage more in-person events because, I know after a long duration of not being able to have visitors in the building, we're excited to finally have everyone be able to come back and be a part of, what's taking place in our school building on a daily basis. And this is just one other event, and we just hope that it grows from here. So if anyone has any questions, I'm more than happy to take questions. So no, it'll be, there's a range in time. So I think it's like 8:30 to 10:30, if I'm not mistaken. And of course, you can come at any point within that range. And this year, what we did was we expanded, right? Because in previous years, when it was in person, it was just the expo hall, which is our gymnasium. And there was a selection of which presentation or which project kind of one entry into that expo center. It's all students' projects will be on display this year. We've opened up the classroom as satellite rooms. So there'll be some projects in the gymnasium. We'll still have additional events taking place in our extracurricular rooms, like our esports room, our environmental studies room. And then in the classroom will be other students' projects, so that all students have an opportunity to present and to speak about their project and answer questions. And all parents will have a chance to see the work that their children engaged in. So that's a newer feature for this year. We're hoping that it provides greater access and greater equity as well, because all voices will be heard. So the projects are in school. They're part of our literacy curriculum and content area curriculum. So this is part of the work that the students do. They might do pieces of it, parts of it at home, but the project is created largely in school and all a part of their regular ongoing curriculum. Any other questions? Oh, I have a question from Ms. Thomas. If I could repeat the dates for the math assessments. So the math assessments will be taking place next week. It's the Math Mosel Thursday and Friday for the majority of classes. Because of NYSESLAT scheduling, there are some classes that may have to take it on an alternate date. But tomorrow you will be receiving a Mosel flyer, and it will have a schedule of the classes and what date they will be taking it. It is an untimed test in grades 2 through 5. So it's very similar to the New York State assessment. Children will have the amount of time they need, and they require within that day to take the assessment. It is testing conditions. Kindergarten, it's a one-on-one assessment. So the teacher will be administering it to an individual child. So there'll be a schedule. And for grade 1, it's a small group assessment. So I think a group no more than 5 for every teacher. So intervals of groups of 5. Oh, anytime, Ms. Thomas. Yes. Oh, sure. Sure. So I have a question about graduation and like what are going to be the logistics around graduation with tickets and where it's held. So our grade 5 graduation, and we've had a grade 5 graduation parent meeting is being held at the auditorium of IS 383 right across the street from us, as traditionally we have done so. And then kindergarten, since we no longer have any COVID restrictions, will be back in our auditorium here. We do a ticket system where parents will request ticket. Unfortunately, I wish our auditorium was a lot bigger, but it's not. So we usually cap the tickets at 2 per family. Any other questions? If you think of a question at a later time, always are available to contact me and Perez42@schools.nyc.gov or Ms. Haig, Ms. Ramirez, Ms. Rivera, and we will definitely get back to you with a response. And I wish everyone a happy and healthy Mother's Day weekend, and I hope everyone enjoys. Thank you.
Okay. So upcoming events and reminders, the setting goals and motivation workshop. Those dates will be going out if you haven't already received those flyers, but they should be backpacked shortly. The PSA elections, Wednesday, May 31st. Remember, this is an in-person only event, so we're hoping to see everyone there. Family Fun Day will be rain or shine on Saturday, June 3rd. Please contact us if you are interested in volunteering. There will be a sign-up sheet on the door of the PSA office. And also, you can always email us and we can add you to the list. Then there's the time management workshop also put together through the Title I funds. That is Thursday, June 8th. And like Stacy said earlier, if you are interested in these dates here, the Spanish dates here are wrong.
Wait, I'm gonna fix it. Just keep talking.
Okay,
Oh.
so the Spanish dates are wrong.
Shoot.
But the dates on the flyer are correct because they are 2 separate events. There's going to be the same workshop completely in English and the same workshop completely in Spanish. So choose the workshop you want to go to based on your language of preference.
The date is right. Actually, that one changed. Oh, there, now it's changed. I changed it on my phone, but then now that just like make it a slideshow again.
Okay.
There. Now they're right.
Yay, so Mary Louise to the rescue. So, and then the Little Mozart Enrichment Assembly will be Tuesday, June 13th. Does anybody have any questions before we close out the meeting? As always, we have PSA office hours. Like Andreina said earlier in the meeting, if you need help ordering pictures, graduation pictures, you can contact the office or swing by the office hours. She also, Andreina, you said that you would be reaching out to people who've already reached out to us, correct?
Yeah, and also in the form that we sent out, the contact form that we sent out, there was a checkbox and many people indicated that they would like support. So we're going to use that also for outreach.
Okay. So if you are interested in signing up for volunteer opportunities with the PSA, with the Family Fun Day, or if you have any questions about maybe running for the PSA, if you like, I'm in the office Tuesday mornings, Andreina is around Thursdays. You can always email us at ps@ps376.com. Thank you everyone for attending. We really appreciate it. Anybody have anything else to add? Patrina, you want to close this out? Patrina, are you
I
still on the phone?
apologize.
Oh,
The meeting will now be. Hello? Hello?
we can hear
We
you.
hear you.
The meeting will now be adjourned. Thank you all for coming.
Thanks, everybody. Have a good night.